Alright, the way that my training is focused, it's unique, it's different, and highly demanding as far as the requirements of reaching a high level of this art. Remember, it's not just reaching perfection in one aspect. This is all aspects. In martial arts specifically, I'm talking about physical, mental, spiritual. Okay? And that encompasses a lot. If you think about it deeply, it encompasses life. Alright? And when you talk about life, trying to perfect life, it's not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of things to train. So this is a lifelong thing. There's no way that you can reach perfection, but you are going to joyfully live in the moment and train and just enjoy life. And through that, you're going to be living a positive life and bettering yourself. Alright, so for example, it's easy for somebody to just be like, well, I want cut abs. And then that's all he cares about, that's all he does is train for abs. So he trains 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, just abs. Just to get cut abs, nothing else. Nothing else he cares about. It's easy to do that because you're only focusing on one thing. There's nothing else you're worrying about. But it's going to be a lot harder to, say, develop the whole body. Now, you don't just have the abs. You got the chest, you got the triceps, you got the neck, you got the back, lower back, upper back, you got biceps, you got the thighs, the legs, quads, you got the calf muscles, you got just the shoulders, just the whole body, basically the bodybuilding thing. That becomes a lot more difficult because, you got other things to do now, all right? And when it comes to the martial arts, the Kung Fu training, modern Kung Fu, there's going to be even more than that. It's not just bodybuilding, it's training for strength, for speed, flexibility, for endurance, cardio. Then there's technique training, there's ground fighting, there's stand-up fighting, there's the feet, there's the hands, joint locks, throws, weapons, traditional weapons, modern weapons. I mean, there's a lot when you're talking about just technique, all right? And then when you talk about mental, spiritual, I mean, look at how long we've been training ourselves mentally, since we've been to school, training our minds. That's a lifelong thing. How many books are out there to read? How many videos are out there to watch? How many documentaries? How many movies? Teachers? Oh, everybody's always teaching. There's so many things out there. So the mental is in itself extremely vast. And then you got the spiritual, which is the inner understanding of yourself, which is in itself a lot as well. All right, so there's so much, all right, and that's what my art is based on, is all of it, not just one part, not just being a good competition fighter, that's it, and being like dumb as a brick, not that, okay? This is like, imagine a doctor, somebody that went to school to be a certified medical doctor. You know how hard that is, right? Or a lawyer, you know how hard that is, right? How many years of schooling that you got to go through. Imagine that person being as great as any competition fighter. You know how difficult that would be for someone to be a doctor and as skilled and great as a competition fighter? That's not an easy thing, all right? Or a doctor and just somebody that's just in completely great shape, all right? Imagine if, in order to be certified as a doctor, you need to pass physical requirements and do like 20 pull-ups and bench like, you know, 2 times your weight and be able to do 100 push-ups in a minute. Imagine if they had physical requirements that you must pass in order to be a doctor. I mean, they're pretty much probably, it's already hard enough to be a doctor, but imagine it feels like that. Then there'd be like, probably like most of 98% of doctors would be uncertified. They wouldn't pass because it's difficult to be able to get good in multiple things. All right, I mean, to specialize in just one thing, I mean, that's easy. Okay, but to be able to get good in many different things, it's not. That is a difficult thing, and that is what I am promoting for people to do, and specifically for this art. That is what I want people to strive towards. I want you to be intelligent. I want you to be wise. I want you to be a great fighter. I want you to be a great martial artist. I want you to be a great human being in general. All right? Imagine Jesus, someone like Jesus, so spirited and such a highly morally sound individual that inspired millions of people. Imagine him being as having a fighting ability as good as any competition fighter. Imagine how difficult it'd be for someone to reach that level. And that's kind of what I'm promoting for people to do. That's kind of what my art is encouraging. You know, that's what I want people to strive towards. Not just one specific thing, but to just encompass all of life and apply, you know, the training that you learn in, say, Kung Fu techniques, modern Kung Fu techniques, the training that you use to get good at that, apply that training to other aspects of life and achieve greatness in all aspects. And that is difficult. All right. So for me, for example, there was started off with being an athlete. You know, at the age of 9, just training my body. You know, and to be athletic and train in basketball. That training was easily transferred to martial arts. I started martial arts at 17, so 8 years later I started martial arts. I transferred that training that I did in basketball and athletic skill building to martial arts with ease. As soon as I transferred it to the martial arts, then martial arts opened up me to many different aspects. So at first I started just doing the technique training for a while, and that's what I mainly focused on, and you know, of course, the fitness as well. And then I got introduced to the philosophy behind the martial arts, specifically Eastern philosophy. Then I started to strive towards the spiritual training, understanding myself, understanding my mind, understanding the people around me. Through that training, I was able to prepare myself to basically meet somebody special. Because ultimately, to me, pretty much the most important thing in life to me is love. All right, I think love is basically solve all problems in life. Any struggles, anything like that, love will solve. And that's kind of the only thing that I valued more than the actual martial arts. But to understand love, to understand the dynamics of relationships with human beings, it requires a lot of spiritual training. All right, and not a lot. That's a lack, you know, in modern society. But through the martial arts, it led me to understand it. And when I met